You know, some things are better left unsaid. Unfortunately for us, we usually don't realize it till after we've already said it. And that is what this is. Season 2 of Love Lessons is officially on the way, but first, we've got a brand new episode of Love Lessons Unhinged.
Real life, real talk, real relationships, faith-based tips, tricks, and challenges to improve your marriage and change your life. It's the Love Lessons Podcast with your hosts, Christian counselors and marriage experts, Dr. Zach and Blair Gammon.
Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Love Lessons.
HARK. How goes it?
What?
HARK. Like, HARK. Who goes there? I was speaking in, like, King James. HARK the Herald Angel. Anyway.
So let me get this straight. We haven't seen these people in like 14 months. And the first thing that you say to them is, HARK?
Well, you already said hello, so I was just trying another H word. Hello? I could have done a Medea. Hello?
I am an Emmy award-winning journalist.
Oh, here we go.
I have interviewed U.S. presidents, celebrities. I have reported from a house when it was on fire and I was inside of it. I have been inside of a tornado. All of that, and now here I am co-hosting HARK Lessons.
HARK Lessons. With the best co-host ever. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Anyway, hello, HARK. We're glad that you're with us. So it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Been a bunch of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We've been through some stuff.
Yeah, so the last time our last episode dropped in February of 24.
Yeah.
And now we are at the end of April of 25. So we've had about 14 months, a little bit of a break that we took.
We said we would see them in a few months.
It depends on your definition of a few.
We took the scenic route.
We
back
did.
here.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a cross-country tour and came back.
Yeah. We've been through some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We did some ministry exploration. We looked into and went through the process of being assessed for planting a church. And through that process, we were approved for all of that, and it was great. But we really just felt that we were discerning that God was telling us to stay put where we are. And so that took up a bunch of our time. We have a now 2.5-year-old almost. We have an almost licensed driver. She has her permit now.
Yeah, that hurts.
2 children in high school.
Yeah, that hurts. Listen, I don't know how I have 2 daughters in high school when I'm still just 16 myself.
Right.
Right.
It's a weird.
But my face doesn't look 16, so I'm like really confused by that.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, many years ago, my dad, after he turned 29, he would always tell people that he's 29 and holding.
Mm-hmm.
And as a teenager, I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. And now that I'm a few years beyond 29 myself, it all makes perfect sense.
Yeah, just hold.
Yeah.
It's like ordering an entree, but telling them the parts you don't want.
Yeah.
Like, give me life without aging.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, we still age. We just refuse to admit it.
Right. It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in our
Philosophical.
Is it a delusion? Delusions of grandeur? Grandeur?
I mean, ain't nothing grand. Have you seen this set?
We have a new studio.
Mhm.
It's Blair got us kicked out of the last place. Let's just call it what it is. She got a little too ratchet.
Yeah.
And we were in a church, that's where our studio was, and one of the pastors actually decided that it was time for us to go.
Yeah, he was so rude, and he was like, "You guys have got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Pack your stuff, pack your bags, and leave."
Unfortunately, I was that pastor that had to remove us because it had to be renovated and reused for some office space. So now it looks kind of like we're broadcasting live from Meemaw's basement.
Meemaw's basement. Facts.
But this is the best we got.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it,
Just listen.
Just listen.
Don't look at our faces
Right.
or our set.
The people who listen to this on their podcast app and don't ever watch the video have no frame of
Yeah,
reference.
they're like, I don't care where you guys are. You
Right.
could be on space.
On space.
On space.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just like,
In space, on Mars.
maybe that's where we are right now. Maybe
Yeah,
we're actually
Mars.
in Mars.
Mars lessons.
Hmm.
Well, our set is new and has changed a bit, but there's also some other changes that have happened.
Am I going through the change?
I don't think so, but I've never done it myself.
No.
So I don't really know all the aspects of it. I've got
Okay.
some friends who tell me about it. No, it's not menopause. You have lost a significant amount of weight since we started this journey. And you got braces too. So it's like looking at 16-year-old Zach all over again.
Yeah. I lost 94 pounds since October of 2023. And then I got braces too. And really the only reason we're back here for season 2 is because all of the tens of dollars that we made in season 1 dried up, and I need more money to continue my glow up journey. So,
Well, that's great for you. Season 1's money was yours for your glow up, but season 2's mine.
well, I hope that you'll enjoy all $14 of it. Buy yourself something nice. You can get something on the discount rack at Ulta, I guess.
I'm probably gonna order something from TikTok Shop.
There you go.
Yep.
So, it's weird now because like I'm weirdly skinny, and I have glasses and now braces too. I am living a middle schooler's worst nightmare right now.
How's your acne doing?
It's there are days that's pretty rough too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird.
Yet another reason why I probably look like your mom when we're in public together. Like, I've got the wrinkles and you've got like...
Oh no, the wrinkles are there.
I don't think so.
There.
I don't think so.
Well, in true Love Lessons fashion and tradition, would you like a fun fact?
You're still doing this, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, I am.
Okay.
I am weird.
All right, have at it. Jump right on in.
All right. Here's y'all's fun fact. Among their many responsibilities over the years, bridesmaids traditionally would dress in similar bride-like dresses and gowns to confuse rival suitors, evil spirits, and robbers.
I think the best one's the evil spirits. Like,
What are they going to do to an evil spirit? Hark!
maybe. I don't... Okay. I don't... Did robbers steal women back then?
I mean,
steal brides?
yes. Have you studied history at all?
I mean, I know that women have not necessarily had the best history when it comes to being protected, but I didn't know that brides were like this hot commodity on the market, like women at the altar. Like, you're wearing a white dress, I'm gonna steal her, as opposed to yesterday when she was just wearing a regular petticoat. I don't know.
Here's what I want to know. You have been a maid of honor in a wedding, and yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you did.
Okay.
Wow, it was clearly impactful. I was going to ask
I
if
can't even
you...
think I've ever been to a wedding in my life, actually.
That's awkward.
Except for my own, but we already talked
Yeah.
about that. It wasn't really a wedding.
I don't recall you fending off or confusing any evil spirits or robbers or rival suitors.
No, I also didn't wear white, and everyone knows that only the bride wears white. And so if her maid of honor or bridesmaids came in wearing white, I feel like that would be big beef. Big beef, lot of tea.
That's exactly what they were saying in the year 1237, the year of our Lord, when they were fighting off rival suitors
And evil spirits.
and evil spirits.
Hark,
Who goes there?
you go with no more.
So I have a question.
Why do you always start them off like this?
The people need to know.
Okay, curious case of Zach Gaming. Let's get it together.
Why is it that sometimes women start cleaning angrily and they don't share that they're going to start cleaning? They just do it, and then they get angrier because their husbands and or other individuals in the home don't start cleaning with them when they never told them that was what was happening.
Okay, well, wait a second, though. They don't start angry cleaning. They start cleaning and then become angry.
Okay.
Difference.
Sure. Why though? Why do you do that?
So, like, when it's time to clean, I'm not the only one that lives in this house. Everyone else can jump up and they can pitch in and they can do what they need to do.
No disagreement there.
Okay.
We don't establish when it's time to clean, and we can be like watching a TV show and a commercial comes on. Praise the Lord, we don't have many of those anymore. And you get up and like you're going to go to the bathroom or going to get a snack or something like that, and then all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, you're like angrily scrubbing the countertop in the kitchen, and I didn't even know I didn't know it was time to get Scrub Daddy out.
Okay, well, women probably need to communicate better. Not going to disagree with that. However, I'm not sure what it's like in other people's house. I can only attest to my own home. And unless I lovingly encourage people to assist me in doing chores and reminding them in a loving way, I usually don't get said assistance.
Is it loving?
Um, we're going to call it that.
Mm.
We're going to call it that.
What if it was just like, hey, I think I'm going to go clean this now?
Well, because I don't like get up thinking, that oven looks like it needs a good scrub, in the middle of watching something. I have a thought that leads to another thought. And then like 3 thoughts later, I'm like, let me look at that oven. And then here you go. So it's
I
not,
just feel
my
like
intentions aren't.
there's a journey that happens,
Yeah.
and I wasn't invited on the journey, but then
You're expected to
I'm
show up at the
expected.
destination.
Right.
So what would you prefer? What would you prefer happen?
Come help me clean this oven, boy.
So instead of being angry that you're not reading my mind, that you're not doing it, okay, but you've recognized that I'm rage cleaning.
Sure. Which is scary.
You've recognized that I'm cleaning.
Right.
Should that not be the communication that you also need to do that?
But I'm not paying attention to you, or I'm in another room. I don't recognize that it's happening.
It's rude that you are not constantly paying attention to me.
I don't know what to tell you.
That is the most unloving thing I've ever heard. I'm the center of your universe. I'm your moon and your stars, and you're telling me that you don't know if I'm scrubbing the oven? That's ridiculous.
You should talk to a therapist about
I
this.
don't know any good ones.
So here's a follow-up question.
Okay.
Similarly to your rage cleaning, why do women sometimes create schedules in their heads and stick to those schedules, but don't tell anybody else there is a schedule?
I mean, the women are responsible for the logistics.
Absolutely.
And maybe they do tell that there's a schedule, and the other party, we won't say the husband, we'll just say the other parties involved, don't hear them when they say, here's the schedule and here's what we're doing. You didn't tell me that. So I would say, can we give the women who keep the train on the tracks a break? Because I think they probably do communicate at times when things need to happen and how they need to happen. And maybe it's not heard or validated and or made a priority. And so they're like, they're not going to listen anyway. I'm just going to keep on logisticking.
I call BS.
I didn't know that was a phone call you could make.
Hello. Ring, ring.
Why do you say that's not?
There have been times you don't. To be fair to you, you don't even you don't ever be like, you're not following the schedule. You just start getting irritated and a little more irritated, and I'm like, what's wrong? And you're like, well, I wanted to go do this, and I wanted to do this, and then I wanted to do this, and I'm on board with all that. I just didn't know where the board was.
It wouldn't matter if you did, because it would still take you 5 to 7 business days to do it, because you're the slowest person in the world to transition from one task to another. Men are waffles and women are spaghetti. And so when I'm doing tasks, it reminds me of other tasks and then other things and then other things I need to put on my schedule. And then, oh, I need to do that. Oh, I need to do that. And so it's not necessarily that I've created this master schedule. It's that all of my spaghetti is intertwining, and I'm thinking of all of the things that I need to do, and I'm trying to plot it out like I'm a mathematician. And you're just stuck in your little waffle box going, am I wearing underwear? I mean, I don't know.
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
Yes, right now.
If I washed them.
Yeah, right. I will pour maple syrup all over that spaghetti, like Elf. As long as I know that there's spaghetti cooking.
Okay.
You give me the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even need to know every step of the schedule. As long as I don't get in trouble for not following the schedule I'm not aware of.
I'll tell you about the schedule as long as you don't act like you didn't know that I told you.
Put it on my calendar. Send me an invite.
That's a lot of work for me.
What's is one more step after you've made this
I have to
very
then take
intricate
my
schedule?
phone out and then start sending you, labeling and sending you calendar invites with dates and times when I can just like, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this, and you could put it on your own calendar. I am not your assistant.
No, but you're also not my communicator very well either. That was the most. That sentence didn't even make sense.
Well,
You're
you're
not
doing
my
a great job communicating.
You're not even my very well communicator.
Yeah, the person with a history in communications is doing a great job right now.
I think I wish there was a podcast that talked about how couples could communicate better.
Yeah, handle conflict.
Yeah.
You should listen to season 1 of Love Lessons.
Oh, what are the hosts like?
Well, I think they used to do real good, but it's so far season 2 is
It's off to a rough
it's
start.
off to a rough start. So there's a TikTok trend that's going around right now about unhinged hacks. So off the chain hacks that you do in your life. And one of them specifically trend is about marriage, unhinged marriage hacks. So things that you do.
Okay.
And so one of my favorite ones right now is that before long car rides, this couple will have a conversation to remind each other that they are not the enemy. It's the children that are the enemy. It's them against the children. And it helps them get on the right foot and like hack car rides. Because think about it, like how many times are you trying to get out the door and you're at each other, or you're in the car and you're which direction you're taking? Did you look at the GPS? Stop, we gotta get stopped. You know, like all of that. And so this is a pretty smart way of like, we're on the same team. It's them. They're the problem.
Right. I mean, how many times have we been planning or leaving or have left to go on like a romantic getaway, like a weekend with just us, and we get into a pissing match in the car before we even leave town?
The best ones, which we don't get to do anymore because we don't ride to church together, is when you get into it on the way to church or getting out the door to church, and then you're like, and then you get in the door and you're like, life is great. The Lord is so good. And you're just giving evil eyes to your spouse. Yeah.
Right.
That's funny.
This is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice.
I will be glad in it.
Your children really aren't your enemy, but it is funny.
It is a joke.
It is a joke.
So another one that's really funny is this woman, when she is trying to get her husband to help with the dishes, she'll say, the dishes need doing and you need doing, and I only have energy to do one of those. And she says her husband does the dishes in record time. And that's genius.
Stamp seal of approval. Seal of approval.
I mean, I stole it.
100%.
I'm going to steal that hack. I think that's
I
a
think
good
it's great.
idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
She'd use good communication.
She laid out expectations.
She sure did.
There was no misunderstanding on his part.
No.
I
He met
think
those
it's great.
expectations.
I think it's great.
I'm assuming that she followed through with her end of the deal. Life's good.
We don't use sex as a bargaining chip. We don't hold it over people's heads. However, if there is agreement that like, this is what I want and this is what I can give, and we come together and agree, absolutely. They're delicious to each other.
I mean, Dr. Lehman actually has a book called Sex Begins in the Kitchen where he talks about what that looks like. So she's just using those skills.
I think it's great. Kudos to her.
Yeah, smart. One of my other favorite ones, this woman, it's her hack for revenge. But maybe she's just using it as it's indirect communication. So we're not going to give her like 5 stars, quite like we gave Dishes Lady. But hers is that when my husband makes me mad, I will make his favorite meal, but then I add mushrooms to it, which he hates. And so that is her way of communicating to him that she's displeased so that he would change his behavior.
We do not recommend that.
Not healthy, but hilarious.
But funny.
Yeah.
Not appropriate, but fun, which is most things that are inappropriate usually are funny.
What is the thing that you hate that I would put in? Like, I'm trying to think of a food that you like.
Like coconut maybe, or I don't like mushrooms.
You don't, but you don't hate them.
Okra.
Yeah, you do have a hate towards okra.
Yeah.
The Lord made it. I'm not sure why you hate it so much.
The Lord made tornadoes too, but we don't appreciate when they blow our house down.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I want you to know that we're all here for you. Me, everyone watching and listening. We love you very much.
What are you talking about?
We care about you, but we have some concerns.
This sounds like an intervention.
That is what it is. You have a very serious addiction that we have to talk about.
Is it to them cinnamon discs? Because I do like them.
I like them chocolate frosted donuts too,
Yeah.
man. No, this is something much more serious and much more sinister. It is causing harm in your family. It is bringing dysfunction. It is bringing dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
What did I do? Gosh.
It's time to come clean and admit that you're addicted to buying pajamas for the toddler.
No, you didn't.
This has gone on long enough. The first step is recognizing you have a problem. The second step is admitting you have a problem, and the third step is seeking help.
But how do we know that it's a problem? Like, what's the thresholds? It's kind of like, we all know that meth is bad. So even one meth shouldn't do one meth, right?
Don't ever do one meth,
Right.
friends.
Compared to like eating. We all know that there's disordered eating, but we all still have to eat because it's like a function of life. And so there's a lot of gray. And so I kind of see like toddler pajamas as that, because like toddler still has to wear something to bed, has to wear pajamas. And so like, what am I doing that's so wrong outside of like a normal thing?
How many pairs of pajamas does Judah have that he can currently fit in? Tell the truth, Blair.
Okay,
We care
but
about
some of these were like
This is a safe place.
handed down.
They were. Absolutely, but that's not my question right now. We'll get to that in a moment. How many pairs of pajamas does your son have that he can currently wear?
That were not handed down?
No, total. We'll get to the handed down. How many?
I think there's 27. I think there's 27.
27 pairs of pajamas. Okay. How many times, how often do you do his laundry?
Once a week.
Okay. So let's say that we were being generous and he, got some dirty and we wanted to have 2 sets per day. That'd still be 14.
I didn't buy all of these. They were given to me.
Right. So here's my
I
question.
wouldn't buy 27 pairs.
You would.
No, I wouldn't.
You're a liar.
I would buy 14.
How many pairs of pajamas have you bought since being given the hand-me-down?
0.
Bull.
0.
Bull.
I have not bought one pair since then.
You are a liar.
Because it only happened 2 weeks ago. We were given them a while back, but I only pulled them out and did a clothing size rearrangement 2 weeks ago. And so...
So what you're saying is it wasn't yours, you were just holding it for somebody.
Oh my goodness, no. I'm saying that I did the clothing size rearrangements and pulled out the next size up and got out and washed and folded and all of that stuff. And there were 27 pairs, and that was 2 weeks ago. And so I have not bought him anymore because he has 27 pairs, and that's excessive.
And how many? Thank you. So
They were given to me.
it's not mine. I'm just holding it, officer.
I wouldn't have bought 27 pairs, but I couldn't turn 27 pairs away. Do you know how many excavators and dinosaurs and lions and fire trucks?
Absolutely.
I mean, he has to have them all.
Sure.
Okay, but can I tell myself a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. This is a safe place.
It's not regular pajamas that are my problem. That's not what really gets me my itch fixed. I don't know if that's right.
Itches get scratched.
Scratch.
You're trying to get your fix.
I'm trying to get I'm terrible at being an addict. It's holiday pajamas.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
If they have a 4-leaf clover or an Easter egg or a ghost or a turkey or Martin Luther King on them, I'm buying them, because there's nothing cuter than a sweet, clean, little cuddly baby with his big blue eyes looking at me in holiday pajamas. It's a memory. I have bought a memory. I can quit anytime I want, but I'm not going to.
How many times in the last 2 weeks since you've done this little switcheroo have you had to talk yourself out of buying more pajamas?
Well, I haven't really been to any stores where they have pajamas. I've not been looking at them. But also, there's no fun holidays coming up, so I'm not tempted. Now, I will say, if you get me to Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, I feel a sense of like, ooh, gotta buy them all. Ooh, gotta buy. I also will self-admit that I may have bought him some he already had and not realized it because I just like to buy them.
Oh. Hmm.
I feel like he needs like, you know, the 21 days of Christmas. Like
Ye
he needs a new pair of jammies
He
for
don't. He don't.
every day of
He
the
can't
Christmas
even say
season.
Christmas.
Well, we're working on that. Or like the 31 days of Halloween. He needs 31 pajamas.
For just $2 a day, you can sponsor a PJ Addict. Lovelessons.fn/donate.
I want it, but I also recognize that it's excessive.
You reckon?
And so I want 31 pairs for Halloween, but I'll have like 5 or 6. And then at Christmas, there's probably 10. But I also make it part of his Christmas present. So
You can justify anything, can't you?
sure can. Sure can. I should have been an attorney. He didn't mean to murder him. He just fell with the knife. And they happened to fall on top of him.
Stab lessons.
Like, he didn't mean to hit him with that car. The sun was in his eyes. Right? The tent was too dark. The other person was wearing a black shirt and he should have been wearing a yellow one. I don't know. I can stop anytime I want.
Why is it when you open your mouth, cornbread comes out?
What are you talking
You sound like cornbread.
I don't sound like cornbread.
Hey, y'all. How's your mama and them?
Okay, I sound like I've eaten cornbread, but not that I am cornbread. I'm cornbread adjacent.
It's interesting to me because we're both from Middle Tennessee, and we both kind of grew up this
In the
talking
holler.
yeah, in the holler. And I don't know if maybe it's just because my accent over the years has just kind of blended in with the different places I've lived or what, but we don't sound the same anymore. And my favorite example of this is probably a year ago. We were in Indianapolis, Indiana, at a Whole Foods, and
I've never been to Whole
exactly,
Foods before.
we know, bless your heart. They, I wouldn't really consider them North. They're like Midwest,
Yeah,
but they're not in the South.
but they're south adjacent. There's plenty of people there.
Like, they know what y'all means, but that's probably it. So we are in, then tell me why this happened. We are going to checkout. We're going to the self-checkout. And it was unclear based on the signage of where we're supposed to go. And so Blair looks at the person working at the checkout counter or in the general vicinity and says, "Do we go here?" And she says something. We're far enough away that we can't understand what it is that she says. And so instead of Blair saying, "Excuse me," or "What was that?" or "Could you repeat that?" Tell him what you said.
Do what?
Do what?
I'm supposed to do what?
And the girl looked at you, and the look on her face was like,
Do what? She didn't know what I meant.
She had no idea.
Yeah. You had to
I had to
translate.
translate redneck.
Do what?
Why are you like cornbread?
Well, and then, okay, so that's true because then we went to Detroit
Yeah.
last fall
Yeah.
for some meetings and there was a little bit of a language barrier.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I talk that Southern, but I think I was
I don't
probably,
think I talk that Southern.
but I was probably also talking pretty fast. So those things combined together, it was like they were trying to translate a different language.
I mean, I don't have like a Northern or a Midwestern accent. Like, I sound like I'm from Western Kentucky, but you sound like nobody's ever let you out of like the 3-mile radius of the holler. The difference is that I keep it in the holler where it belongs.
Yeah.
I don't take it into Whole Foods.
That's
I keep it with Mama and them.
That's the name of my memoir, From the Holler to Whole Foods. Okay? It's the story of the Lord's redemption in my life and his sanctification.
That's going to be a bestseller on the Dollar General Times.
I just think it makes me endearing. I might be able to do like my picture on the cover, like a selfie, you know?
Do like the glamour shots from the 90s?
Yeah, with a boa and blue eyeshadow.
That'd be it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be it.
With a picture of a Holler on one side and a picture of a Whole Foods on the other.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Do what?
Okay, can we be serious for a little bit?
I guess. Why? Why don't we have to be serious?
We have to give the people something useful for them to be able to apply to their lives and some actual love lessons.
Fine. All right. Fine. Be serious for just a second. We do have a really exciting season 2 coming up. We're going to talk about a lot of ways that you can love well in your marriage. Take a look.
Season 2 of Love Lessons is all about learning to love well, on purpose, with grace, and through every season of marriage. After unpacking conflict and repair in Season 1, Zach and Blair are taking a more intentional turn this time around. How do we create connection before the crisis? How do we build a love that lasts through changing schedules, unmet expectations, parenting challenges, and the daily chaos of life? This season dives into everything from emotional and spiritual intimacy to money, in-laws, sex, and surviving the middle seasons of marriage. And yes, there are still unhinged moments, surprise stories, and chaotic bonuses that will leave you laughing and loving more. You'll laugh, you'll relate, and you'll walk away with real tools to build a stronger marriage, one conversation at a time. Join us for more real life, real talk, and real relationships on Season 2 of Love Lessons.
Well, I was right.
About what? Of course you were. About what?
They don't want any of this.
You were right.
What a lackluster start to Season 2.
Season 2.
All right, we've tortured these people long enough. I think it's time to let them go.
Open up the barn doors and let all the cows out.
Run. Run while you still can.
Run, little cows. Moo.
Please get me off this train ride. I'm tired.
We got to land this plane.
I'm done. They're done. They're tired of hearing about this.
Unhinged episode 1 is done. We will jump to actual usable content in episode 2 when we talk about loving well.
We're excited about that. It is really going to be good.
Yeah.
So be sure to check us out. As always, find us online at lovelessons.fm. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts or on YouTube. Or we are on this fancy new thing called Substack. That's where our podcast and all of our videos and all of our content are being hosted now. If you subscribe there, you can get an email every time that we publish new content, every time that an episode goes live. And it's just a really great way to connect and stay up to date. So we hope that you'll join us over there. Head over to lovelessons.fm to get access to all of that.
Also, Dirty Laundry is back. We're here to answer all of your burning marriage questions. So send those to us at hello@lovelessons.fm and we'll try to answer those on the show.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're really excited to kick off Season 2. We'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Love Lessons podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we are so thankful for your support. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.